Okay, guys, welcome to Monday, October the 7th homework help. Don't forget to check out Miss Bailey and Henderson's October the 2nd homework video because you'll see problem 2 and problem 4. Okay, but for my class today, if you'll look down at problem 9, on the back it says 1/2 of x, so half of x is equal to 80. This is a question where we actually know our answer. Our answer is actually 80. So this is a problem where we have to work backwards. And to work backwards is doing everything the opposite. Okay? So if we have 1/2, the opposite of 1 over 2 would be 2 over 1. And you want to multiply. Whatever you do to one side, you do where? We do to the other. So we have 2 over 1. Do we need that 2 over 1? Because anything over 1 is itself. Okay? This makes this go away and leaves me with just x. So now I have x is equal to 80 times 2. 80 times 2, well, 8 times 2 is 16, and I add my 0 back on. So here my answer is x is equal to 160. That's working backwards. Okay, guys, if we'll go ahead and look down at problem number 8, we're going to go back to problem 8. The chart shows the cost of renting go-karts. Number of minutes, total cost. Which equation could be used to show the relationship between the total cost, C, and the number of minutes, M? So let's go ahead and label our x and our y, or in this case, instead of x and y, we have C for our total cost, and we have M for our total minutes. Now, just like class today, if we're trying to find an equation from my table, the best way to handle this is set up a big table showing your process column and make sure to do your delta y, delta x. So I'm going to pause you while I set up my table. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and set up your table so you can see how well you're doing. Okay, guys, I've got my table set up. I have my M, which is actually my x, process, my y, which in this case is going to stand for our C, our total cost. So I want my change in y, my delta y. So if I look at this, my change in y, it's going to increase by 5. Versus my change in x, my delta x. That actually increased by 30. Okay, now the little cheat way is to find our coefficient. Our coefficient is going to be our delta y over delta x. In this case, our delta y is actually 5, and our delta x is actually 30. It's 5 divided by 30, or you can look at it as being a fraction. 5 over 30. What do you know about 5 and 30? 5 and 30 is a fraction that can be reduced. Remember? Let me show you old school. 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times 6 is 30. So that reduces down and gives me the fraction of 1/6. So my coefficient is going to be 1/6. 1/6 of 30. Now, I know you might be having a little heart attack here, but slow your roll. If this is my coefficient's what you multiply by, what is the only answer choice that is multiplying by 1/6? The only answer choice that's multiplying by 1/6 is answer choice C. Now, let me explain to you what 1/6 looks like. 1/6, if we looked at a fraction bar, this is the whole bar. What does 1/6 mean? 1/6 means 1 part out of 6. So that's like taking the bar and cutting it down into 6 equal pieces. If I'm cutting the bar down into 6 equal pieces, that's the same thing as dividing it by 6. So another way to look at this rule, besides 1/6 m plus 30, is to say m divided by 6 plus 30. And the reason why I can say it this way also, because it's the same thing as dividing it into the 6 equal pieces. So what's 30 divided by 6? 30 divided by 6 is 5. So 5 plus another 30 makes 35. Same thing with the next one. If I actually had 1/6 of 60, that's the same thing as saying this whole bar is worth 60. So what is each piece worth? 60 divided by 6 is 10. So this is 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. The opposite of multiply is divide. So that's 10 plus the 30 is equal to 40. Now, guys, I didn't have to finish that table or that explanation for you to know that it was answer C. Once I knew my coefficient was 1/6, no matter if I understood the fraction or not, it was the only answer that had 1/6. Now, remember, if 1/6 is not there, though, you have to understand, like on the test, it might not be there. It might be written as m divided by 6. So that's why I wanted to take the time to make sure you understood it. Now, if we go ahead and look to problem 10, 10's just asking us, does the table in problem 8 above represent a proportional or non-proportional relationship? And how do you know? Well, this is the rule or the process you came up with. 1/6 times x plus 30, or x divided by 6 plus 30. Either way it goes, this is non-proportional. And the reason why I know this is non-proportional do you know why? I'm going to finish that right there. The reason why it is non-proportional because we're adding 30. We have a constant. If you have a constant, it is not proportional. Okay? Because if I plug in 0, 0 divided by 6 is 0. It doesn't happen. But you're going to start it at positive 30. It's not going to go through the origin on the graph. Okay. Uh-oh, tip. You can see 2 more problems by going to October the 2nd homework help for Henderson and Bailey. You'll be able to see actually problem 2 and problem 4. It looks like a lot of these problems, 7 and 8, well, we just did 8 together. 7, you need to make sure you set up your tables. I'll see you again tomorrow night.